Okay. Yep.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Roy. I'm an accountability coach. So the topic of the 10X rule is right up my alley because this is talking about taking massive action, actually 10 times the action that you would normally take in order to achieve your goals. So it is written by Grant Cardone, for those of you who don't know, and Grant Cardone is a top sales guy. He just 6 years ago wrote this book, and his goal was to be worth $100 million. Today he has holdings over $400 million with a value of over $200 million in profits, and that's just in his real estate holdings. So he's applied these principles in his life since he's actually written it, and he has more than 10 times his net worth since writing the book and sharing his story. Mary Joy, is there any way you can mute yourself? Because I just hear myself coming through looping.
It's muted. Hang on.
Perfect. And when you're ready to talk, and maybe it's me. Hear myself again. Let me try this. Let's see if that worked. No, it didn't work. So it looks like Lou Altman made it in. And guys, we have a platform here in Blab where we can talk, not just to each other. This is a we show, not a me show. So at some point, we're going to allow you to jump in the hot seat and share with you what you think time management is to you. So I share with Mary Joy that I thought with here at the end of the year, as we are using this platform, at the end of the year here, a lot of people talk about why they don't have enough time in their life. Another year has gone by, right, for a lot of people. And because a lot of people here at the end of the year are having challenges with, another year went by. We don't want you to have those challenges. We want you to sit there and look at time as your most precious commodity and use it to its greatest ability. You need to see what you're doing with your time. And what I tell my clients all the time is anytime you want to improve on something, you need to understand where you are. And by understanding where you are, you can track what you're doing. So we're going to go over chapter 17. How many of you have challenges with time management? Just put a question or put a comment in there. Put a 1. Well, fueled X running, you're in the right Blab. And we all do, right, at some level, but we probably view it a little bit differently. So I'm going to go to chapter 17. It's just a glare. And I've highlighted a few things, and I'll let Mary Joy introduce herself. So Mary Joy, you may want to do that before we get into the Blab.
Hi, everybody. This is Mary Joy. I'm the founder of PeriNewbies.com. I don't know if you know us. I created PeriNewbies for those who are not sure how to use Periscope, who are frightened, scared, nervous, and all those things that comes with it. So, and I got to know Ryan himself. Wow, he asked me, can I do Blab with you? And me, I said, I don't know what to do. So here I am with him every week to talk about, oh my gosh, this changed my life. And I can't wait for 2016 because I'm going to be doing a lot of things with it, especially this book. And also, I don't know if you have the planner as well. Do you have the planner?
Oh, I don't have the planner.
Yeah, this is why I got the book, because of the planner, because you can, like it shows here, you can put your time over there, and then here you can put your goals twice, and I just love it. But I've been have not been using it for 1 week, so I feel a bit lost. But this is so good, both of them. I'm a 4 months. Oh, I'm just reading somebody. Yeah. So guys, 10x rule. I'm gonna let you take it away, Ryan, because I need to learn more about timekeeping as well, time management.
Okay, so he talks about the myth of time management, and many of you, I hear this all the time. I don't have enough time in my day, but I don't hear that from uber successful people or people that I've studied, right? So people that you study that are super successful just utilize their time better. So I'm just going to read some excerpts from the book. And this is the first one at the first page of the chapter that stuck out for me. Is Grant Cardone says, I often receive questions about time management and balance in my seminars. I have found throughout my career that the people who are the most concerned with time management and balance in their lives are the ones who believe in the notion of shortages that we discussed in an earlier chapter. Most don't even know how much time is available to them or what tests are most necessary to accomplish in that time. If you don't know how much time you have or need, then how on earth can you expect to manage it or balance it? See, to me, what that means is most people will say, oh, I'll be there in 15 minutes, knowing it's going to take them 10 minutes to get out the house and 15 minutes to drive over there. They don't factor in all the time. And Lou said over here is learn how to say no. Well, more than just learning how to say no is having a realistic concept of how much time it takes to do something. And that's why the 10X planner with that goes along with the book is so crucial, because as you start to write these things down, if you took a snapshot of a week by simply writing down what you do each and every single day, every single minute of every single day, you'll start realizing where your time is going. And I'm talking about things like sleeping, I'm talking about things like watching TV, time on Facebook, time on the internet, time doing things that aren't in relation to the things that you say you want long term. Some people would call those goals. So if you start looking at the time you have and where you may not be utilizing it to the best, some people would say wasting your time. If you were to sit there and track yourself for an entire week, you may realize that there's a lot of time that you have going to waste that you could be utilizing towards the things that you really desire. You have any comments on that, Mary Joy?
I'm doing multitasking. I'm doing Periscope at the same time.
I think I'm Periscoping too. I think I'm in there.
Yeah.
For those of you on Periscope, please feel free to click in my profile, and I'm actually going to just get over Periscope because that's a distraction to me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it for a second. To me, time management, I find it very hard because of the kids as well. But I'm trying to find, I don't know if anybody out here knows like an app where everything is in there. I know there's app there, but I'm just like, there's too many. Which one should I
Evernote.
Evernote, yeah, I have that as well, but I went to Google Keep, so I'm like, it's too confusing because there's so many things all at once. So yeah, time management for me is very hard as well. Yeah.
And Chuck made a comment in here, multitasking can be very dangerous for effective time management.
Yeah.
And there's a book out there, I believe it's called The Power of One, and it's doing one thing at a time until its completion. And that's what they say, focus on one thing, because really that's all we could really focus on at a time. This sense of multitasking, and I heard this somewhere recently, Chuck, so I'm glad you bring that point up. Are you guys getting feedback by any chance? Because I hear myself and I don't want it to be a distraction to you. Do you hear me, Mary Joy? Do you hear me double?
I hear you, but it's like.
But you don't hear it like the feedback. No feedback? All right, thank you so much, Fueled X. I have it in my ears, so it's a little distracting to me, but if it's not distracting you, we'll keep going. So in regards to multitasking, this is a term that came up when computers came out. Even computers cannot multitask. They do one thing at a time. The thing is that they've gotten so much faster in the speed is that we can't tell the difference. Like, we're running all these different windows, but they're running them all singularly at the same time, but one at a time because the processing speed is so much. our brains are not computers. They are computers, but we need to do one thing at a time and do them effectively and then move on to the next task. So as Lou said, it's actually task switching. And I agree with that. So back to the Grant Cardone book, and I highlighted another one and I touched on a little bit. It says, I challenge you to keep track of how you're spending your available time, perhaps in a journal or a 10x. What does he call that? A 10x journal, or is it a 10x planner? I'm not selling it, but I'll tell you this: on his website, they're all sold out. So I think I'm going to create it. If I were to create a justify or just do it journal, which is very similar to the 10x journal that for some reason he's run out of, would you guys buy it? Because I'm thinking about creating it.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing a Perry Newbies planner as well, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. So why not? Go for it.
Yeah, right? Why not? Build it and they will come. So most people have no clue what they're doing with their time, but still complain that they don't have enough of it. So what are you guys doing with your time? Yeah, there is a crazy reduction in price on all of Grant Cardone's stuff. So I may as well pitch him, seeing I'm talking about him here. If you go on to grantcardone.com, and I'll type it in there.
I think one
Grant
of the
Cardone,
sorry.
He is doing everything like 93% off. So his university, which is normally $13,000, he's selling it for $995. He has books on there that he normally sells for $30 that are for like $10. He has all kinds of valuable information on there, and it's only going through to tomorrow night, I believe, another 24 hours through the new year. So if you are looking for tools like that, if you're looking for sales tools, if you're looking for motivation, if you're looking for people to push you to the next level, Grant Cardone has done it for many people, including myself and Mary Joy. And you can get it there at grantcardone.com. Mary Joy, you wanted to say something?
Two things. Hi, everybody. If you want to jump on and talk with us, there's a two seats open. The second one is, I think a lot of the time management as well is watching TV. Sometimes you just watch and then it just, so it takes a lot out of your time. So I stopped watching soap after soap because it's just not doing anything for me anymore. So I think Lou is having problem because,
Lou's having a little bit of a challenge. Lou, sometimes when you get onto this, and I know you've gotten on Blabs before, you can click on, accept microphone and camera, I believe. You may be having that challenge. I'd rather prefer the scope and be on Blab also, because we're learning amongst people who are peers, right? You're all my peers. You're all people who are go-getters. You are innovators. You are first and early adopters, as Blab, I believe, is 5 months old. Periscope is 10 months old now, not even 10 months yet. So all of you are early adopters, and we're using these platforms
Hey, that's me.
To get to know each other, to learn about each other. Successful. Lou Altman.
I'll even look at the camera. Hello. Hi.
So Lou, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you feel about
time management. Yeah, well, let me, first the earth cooled, then the dinosaurs came, and then I was born. I've been what I call a customer service redeemer for 30 plus years. I believe, and in fact, I don't believe in customers, I believe in clients. And I actually saw a very interesting video this morning from one of the investment guru guys who's changing his business model because he doesn't want to have little tiny transactions. He wants trusted clients. It was fascinating. My company, Next Level, provides training and public speaking to businesses who are interested in deepening relationships and making more money. And that's all what it really comes down to. When you adopt a client mentality over a customer mentality, you're talking about a long-term relationship that makes you more money in the long run. You don't make money selling things. You make money keeping things. And in the investment world, there's a phrase, get the check, keep the check. You don't make any money getting the check. You have to invest a lot of money to make that sale. You make money keeping the check. So when you look at for example, a retention program, and I would float this out there to everybody out there. You probably know how much you spend on new customer or client acquisition. How much money do you spend on retention? How much money do you spend to keep those people happy and keep them in your business? Because the longer they stay in your business, the more money you're going to make, because they continue to pay you. So I teach, preach, and train that kind of work. In fact, I just finished a webinar, 5 steps to accelerating business profits. And I've been playing around with Zoom, which is a webinar. It's a webinar software where you actually have a split screen between tiles. Ryan, dude, where'd you go? You actually can see like the PowerPoint slides and a live video at the same time. So I'm gearing up to put together something like that. As to Ryan's question about time management, I admittingly can be very good at it, and I admittingly can be very bad at it. When I'm good at it, what I do is I basically either in my Outlook calendar or on my phone, because we all know these control our lives, if I schedule things, I'm much more likely to get a lot more done. I am, you can call me ADD, ADHD, whatever you want, but I refract faster than a 4-year-old. And if you look at how I work on my computer, and I know this, I will have 5 or 6 different things open at once, and 15 minutes on this, and 15 minutes on this, and 15 minutes on this, and 15 minutes on that. And I just sort of rinse and repeat and go through those things. That's how I get a lot done. The last few weeks, though, honestly, I have really been goofing off, and I've been enjoying it. I'm in a transition between getting out of my satellite communications company that's been almost 18 years and into next level training, speaking full time. And similar to when I got downsized from the financial services industry, I kind of took a break. I took a few months off. I wrote some programming, do some training at the time. I played some golf. I went fishing. I sat on the beach. And so for the last few weeks, and Ryan knows this, I've kind of been goofing off a bit. I'm now back into things. That's why I've been playing around with the Zoom. That's why I've been playing around with the webinar, been scheduling some things. I actually just got what I consider to be a rave review about my book from a very senior person at one of the telecoms who's interested in having me speak. So if I'm going to be effective with time management, I need to, and this is me, I need to write things down and have a schedule so that I know that at 10 o'clock it's time to do this. At 3 o'clock it's time to do this. On my phone, every day at 3 o'clock I have Periscope. And honestly, today I didn't get to it because I was working on the Zoom webinar software stuff with someone online. But I'm going to do a scope. It may be 10 minutes from now. It may be half an hour from now. I got a lot of great ideas. So that's in terms of time management.
Yeah, I agree. And it is about writing it down and putting a schedule to what it is that you want to do, but having an ultimate goal to get there. Hey, I want to welcome Chuck for jumping in the hot seat. Chuck, it's been some time. I know we spoke probably about a month ago with Dorian one night. So I appreciate you hopping on the scope and giving us your wisdom in regards to time management.
Well, I just wanted to praise Lou for a comment he made, and I've got to leave also. But when he talked about
thank you,
clients
Chuck.
And service, several of our companies, we took a different tack many years ago. We have readjusted all of our budgets to spend more money on customer retention than acquiring new customers. And what that has done is it's dramatically increased sales and profits because our profit per sale is much higher. And there was one little trick. I remember one of my clients, when I sat down with he and his wife, you might have heard this story before. I suggested that on every first shipment to a new customer, they include a very, very nice gift. It was in excess of $20. Now, some of their products only sold for $30. And some of them sell for up to hundreds. And his wife says, we can't do that. And I said, yes, you can. In fact, in 6 months, if it does not dramatically change your bottom line, I will underwrite the total expense of the gifts that you sent. Obviously, I never had to write a check because their profits soared. What happened was those people that received their first order became instant salespeople. And we saw orders from that geographic region increase tremendously. So I want to praise Lou again for bringing that up. All customers are clients. Service, well, the servant mentality, if that mindset is not in a aspiring business person's head, they might as well close the door and continue to work for someone else. Because when you're in business, you are nothing more than a servant. And the more you get, the more you can give, and that's how businesses grow. So I'd like to stick around, but I can't multitask, so I have to leave here. And every Wednesday we publish a newspaper in Wisconsin, and then I put the digital version up, and I've got to get that out in just the next few minutes. So thank you all very much. Bye-bye.
No, thank you for coming in always, Chuck. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah,
That's
I think
awesome.
last time I spoke to Chuck, to get a little off topic, Lou, he heard you speak. You had to get off, and he got on and elaborated. And he's a very successful man who has many, many projects going on in his life. So time management is probably near and dear to his heart, and that's probably why he jumped on. So I'm glad that he got on and got to edify you a little bit and your viewpoint on client care, which gets back to time management, right? Where do you want to best utilize your time, which Lou would agree, and many of you may agree, spend it too many times. People are trying to find the new client or the new person to bring on and spending all their energy there when they're not taking care of their clients that they already have, thinking they're already here, I don't have to serve them anymore. That is the furthest thing from the truth. Spend your time on the people who are already spending money with you. And very naturally, as Chuck had alluded to, those people will become your biggest fans and your biggest referral base, and they will naturally bring on the new clients, which are the people you want anyway, right? You want people that are coming on because somebody else talked about you, not because you talked about you. So spend your time in your businesses wisely by spending it on the people who already are in your business and are already your clients.
Well, I just want to follow up on one thing about that. Think about that. You have advocates who are clients of yours selling for you, call it that, referring for you. So your cost of acquisition for that new person is how much? It's the $20 Chuck was just talking about, as opposed to what might be 50, 60, 100, whatever your cost of acquisition is. If you can have a client base that is so thrilled that they refer people to you, your marketing costs drop dramatically. What happens to your profits? They go up because you're not spending as much money bringing new clients into your business. So it only makes natural sense that with a retention program and a relentless focus on client care, your business makes more money over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Evangelos Taxi, thank you so much for joining the scope. We're talking about time management today. So what I would like to challenge every single one of you to do, tomorrow is New Year, so I want to just say while everyone's on here, Happy New Year to each and every single one of you. All the days seem to be flowing together. I'm hitting my year at the end of the year here really hard and finishing up strong, and it just seems like another day to me. But what I would challenge each of you to do in this new year is to take the very first week and write down everything you spend time on: sleep, work, playtime, time with the kids, time building your business, and literally write all these things down. You want to know why? Because you're going to start realizing where you can find more time. I don't sleep much. And part of it is because, I was flipping real estate years ago, and I read every Donald Trump book. And one thing that Donald Trump says, yeah, I know. See, I knew I would get that. But listen, if you're gonna learn about real estate, why not learn from the guy who's made billions of dollars?
Oh, let me tell you, it's huge.
He said, if you want more time, sleep less. too many times people are sleeping their life away. And if one thing you could do, if you think your day is full as it is you can sit there and sleep less. You don't need 8 hours of sleep. Trust me, you do not need 8 hours of sleep. Some of the most successful people on this planet sleep probably 3 to 4 hours a night. Why? Because they're so invigorated and so passionate about what they're doing, they don't find the time to sleep. And I'm sure, I sleep about 4 hours a night on average. And that's it. That's like probably if I get a solid 4 hours, because my mind tends to run. So if you want more time in your life, just sleep. Now, how much time do you spend on wasteful activities? So think about it. Watching television, and this is straight from the book. Watching television, smoking, drinking, oversleeping, getting coffee, having lunchings or meetings with no business opportunity. If you're going to have lunch with somebody that could potentially create business for you or develop a relationship that has mutual benefits to it. Use your time wisely. And think about it. After a week of tracking this, write down what are your time wasters and how you could supplement that time with things that are more fruitful to you. Mary Joy, you're quiet over there. I don't know if you're over there jotting notes. What are your thoughts on this? Because you have come into having created Perry Newbies in the last couple months. You don't have a lot of time for any of those extracurriculars, right? Where I'm sure at some point you did.
No, Perry Newbies just took a lot out of my time. So at the beginning, I had to just like focus. But now I'm getting used to handling some of the work to Sunday and the other mentors. So, yeah.
So what are you doing with the freed up time now? Because you were spending an exorbitant amount of time on building it. Now you're learning to delegate, right? Which is a great thing to learn when you're running a business. What are you doing with that extra time?
I'm creating some stuff to go with the group. And also I'm doing more Periscope because we're doing this 100 scope challenge. And of course I have kids. So right now I'm still busy. I'm still, but there's more things I want to do. So my brain is always, like you said, it's always working. But I think this Christmas slow down a bit. So yeah, I'll be more working on something else behind the scene anyway. Yeah.
Awesome. So Evan chimed in a little bit, and welcome Mike to the Blab. We appreciate you coming here. We're talking about the myth of time management, right? And Evan Taxi came in and said, time is not controllable, life is. And you're absolutely right, Evan. If you'd like to jump in the hot seat and elaborate on that, we'd love to have you. But there's a quote out there, and I believe it goes something like this. I'm off the top of my head. If you don't plan your day, if you don't control your day will control you, or something like that. Or if you don't plan your day will plan itself for you. So life gets in the way. Things come up, but it's your choice whether or not you want to use it as a distraction or a reason. But if you have no purpose going into your day, right? You haven't mapped out or planned your day ahead of time. Guess what happens? These other distractions will allow themselves to impede on your progress towards what you want to accomplish. But the time management part is planning your day ahead of time and mapping out what you want to accomplish. And you'll see, as Lou said, at 3 o'clock, he knows he needs to get on a Periscope. Thankfully, he got on our Blab today, so I appreciate you varying your schedule off a little bit. But here's the thing, is he knows he still needs to get that in. Why? Because it was written down in his handwriting, and that is his bond to himself, his word to himself, his integrity to himself. And many times people make these to-do lists. They make these to-do lists and put them off to tomorrow. And honestly, what happens with that, if you said you were going to do it today, you're living in low integrity to yourself, and you don't even realize it. So if you write it down and it's your bond, you say you're going to do it today, you should start doing that. And if you're not, you need to take a hard look at yourself and why you're not accomplishing the things you want in your life. Do either one of you want to elaborate or comment on that?
No, I think you said it. it's your bond to yourself. I mean, and I've heard you say this many times. Imagine what a great place the world would be if everybody did what they said they're going to do. And I'm guilty of the same thing, you know. But you know, you make an intention. Sometimes things come up and they change. You know, you get stuck behind the school bus and you're not going to be wherever it was you're supposed to be at 8 o'clock at night. Now, did you know the school bus pattern, but so some days the bus is running a little bit early, or sometimes it's a little bit late, whatever it is. And I'm only referencing that because this happened to me, 2 weeks ago. I was supposed to be somewhere at 8 o'clock, and I know the bus runs by my street at 10 of, and I was a couple minutes early, but there it was up the street. So, you know, you still have to do what you say you're going to do. And by the way, everybody watching, if you want someone to give you a swift kick and make you do stuff, Ryan is the man. I'm just going to pop to a screen because, Ryan, I sent you a message of a great quote.
Please do so.
That I just want to read.
Yes, we can still see you.
Still see me. Yeah, here it is. It's easier to do a job right than to explain why you didn't.
Yeah.
That was Martin Van Buren. I would consider him to be a fairly successful guy, having been president of the United States. You know, like your title, justify or just do it. You can come up with all the excuses in the world, but if you're going to do that,
and what I say with my title is justify or just do it is this: hey, you can justify it or you could just do it, and it usually takes about the same amount of time. You know, when you missed that bus that day, you didn't go, and if you were late, I don't know if you were late or you weren't to wherever you had to go. But if he went in and spent 5 minutes talking about how he missed the bus, that's unimportant. The fact is that he's there. You say, listen, my apologies. I'm late. Let's get to work. We've already wasted enough time. And too many times people want to waste another 5 minutes explaining why they were late. And nobody, honestly, nobody cares about
your story.
When I coach with people and they start giving me excuses or justifications or reasons, I just tell them to stop. I'm uninterested. What happens with that is they become validated. If they're able to voice what they're saying, they actually validate it for themselves and they feel better about themselves. No, we're motivated by two things, guys, and I know Lou knows this. Do you know what we're motivated by, Mary Joy, or anybody over there writing, listening? I know you know, Lou, so I'll just put. Do you know what we're motivated by, Mary Joy?
Money. some are money. Some
well, there you go. Learn to solo said it. We're motivated by pain and we're motivated by pleasure. Yeah, so when somebody is allowed to justify what they're saying or their reason or their excuses, that's letting them off the hook, right? But if I don't allow them as their coach to give me those excuses, reasons, or justifications, there's a pain, there's an internal pain inside that bothers them. And they don't want to have that experience the next time they talk to me. Therefore, guess what happens? They typically do what they said they were going to do on the next coaching call because they don't want me to shut them down.
Well, and there's something really interesting that I learned a long time ago, having studied psychology. People are more motivated by avoiding pain than gaining pleasure. So the fear of pain is a bigger motivator than the pleasure that you could seek, which to me is amazing. But we probably all know people, and we probably all are guilty of, at one point or another, living in fear, false evidence appearing real, fear, the anticipation of pain. We do things to avoid being in pain.
Well, it's one thing to know. There's a pain.
some of us have bad joints and still go to the gym.
That they may be in right now, and they understand this pain, and they decide that they may or may not want to live with this pain, but they don't want to go through the growth of the unknown in terms of, well, what if I fail trying to achieve it? Not understanding that there's going to be tremendous growth, and no matter what, even if you fail forward, there's going to be growth, and you'll feel so much better about yourself, or at least have tried. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, right? It's better to have tried and attempted to be a success, however you define that for yourself, than sit back, look at everybody else, and say, I wish I would have. So I would actually like to invite Learn to Solo, and let me see what your real name is, to one of the hot seats, because Mike, you have tons of beautiful sayings over there. You're really engaging, so I'd love to invite you into the hot seat if you'd like to add to the conversation. I'm actually going to follow you now. And he is a guitar instructor, it looks like. So
I like
can't.
this.
Hey, but we appreciate it.
I like
He
this
can't
one.
do it.
I like this one. My failure has crippled me for most of this year at Fuel X running. I think that is so true. A lot of our fear, it's just crippled us. So I like, yeah, I agree with that one. That fear just.
And Fuel by running, you could jump in the hot seat yourself. Willie, please jump in, share with us, and let's talk it out, because you have people here that have had huge fears, right? All of us. Lou, you have fear? Hey, Mary, you have fear?
Of course I have fears.
Oh my God. My biggest one was live streaming with Periscope. I pressed that broadcast. I felt this whatever feeling it was, and I just switched it off. And I said no more. But I wanted to get over it, and here I am now. We have 1,600 in the group, so you can overcome it. It's just at first I was like, oh my God, no, I can't do it. It's hard, but you know, you got to do it.
It looked like Evan is trying to get in. He's having some challenges with the technology also, but hopefully he'll be able to get in. But yeah, so I have tons of fear, right? I have my fears. I'm just like anybody else. But as Mary Joy just described, not too long ago, she was afraid to hit the broadcast button. She probably has well over 100 scopes at this point. And not only that, by hitting the broadcast button and overcoming her fear, she actually has 1,600 people who have joined her to help her help other people who have fears, and overcoming the fears that she had, because she doesn't want people to experience that by themselves. So she is helping 1,600 people at least take enough action to join her group, and she's helped many, many, many of those people. And the ripple effect of those 1,600 people, one of them being myself, helping other people get on their first scope and take action in their life. So yes, and there is no such thing as perfect fueled X running. Perfection doesn't exist. I have a famous saying that I always use. What is it, Lou?
I'm sorry. What's wrong?
Well,
You got a bunch of them. I don't know. It could be
done
anything.
is better than perfect, because we're all at some level perfectionists. At some level,
Yes.
we're all
Oh, yeah.
perfectionists, and we don't want to put out a product that doesn't say, hey, look, I do things at a high level of quality, right? But you can't do that the first time out. The first time you tried to take a step as a baby, guess what? You fell over. The first time Mary Joy got on a broadcast, she pressed stop. The first time you got in a car, you were nervous. So you're not going to be perfect the first time out. But what you will become is better each and every time you do it. And if you do it consistently enough, you'll get proficient enough at it that you have a level of comfort. Once you get a level of comfort, then you will start to become an expert at something, because now all those fears and things go away. So it's all about taking action. That's why they call me the action man, because I believe, and that's why we talk about the 10X rule here, is because it's all about taking action.
And more massive action, like the book said. Take action, and then massive action, and more massive action. I just love this book. It's changing my life. And yeah, we just have to take that action, move forward. Sometimes we want it to be perfect, but that can be that can stop you as well. I found along the way that if I want it perfect and I don't carry on, it just, you know, that's the I don't know, sometimes it's hard, but you just got to move forward and do it anyway, whether it's perfect or not. That's what I found with Peri Newbies.
Well, but here's a question for all you philosophers out there. What does perfect mean?
No one's perfect.
Perfect. What is perfect? I would argue there's no such thing. Just, you know, I wrote my first book this year. I must have edited and re-edited and re-edited literally 50 times. Literally 50 times. And I finally said, it's done. And it's out. Okay, great. And I've read it. a couple times now. I'm like, I think I could change that and change that. You know what it's called? Second revision. Second printing.
So what's the book?
You can always improve stuff.
What's the book?
But this, huh? The book is called Fire Customers, Accelerate Profits. It's all about taking a customer transaction mentality and turn it into a client relationship mentality, so that I'm glad spacing out his name.
Chuck.
He was on before. Chuck, sorry. Chuck had a perfect example. Just absolutely outstanding. I loved it. In fact, I asked him to email me because I want to talk to him about it. Where you use client care as your strategic advantage. You know, some of the most successful companies in the world are client care focused, and you may not think they are. I recently flew on Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines, if you've ever flown them, has taken the completely miserable experience of getting in a huge bus with wings, along with 137 other of your closest friends, and mushing you all together in little tiny seats, but they've made it fun. By taking care of you, by not charging you stupid fees, by letting you kind of do whatever you want, sit where you want, sit with who you want. It's an experience. You know, air travel is not what it once was, and it's an experience that's just not that fun. Southwest Airlines has made it fun, and so they have a very, very loyal following. You know, they were the low price provider. They're not the low price provider anymore. They're competitive. But my whole notion is, if you treat the people who buy from you, I call them clients, people call them customers, it's up to you. If you treat them as a relationship, not a transaction, they're going to stick around for a long, long time. I speak from experience. The satellite communications company I talked about before, almost 18 years in business. We have an average life cycle of 9 years in an industry that the average life cycle is 3 years. And our longest client, a major Fortune 100 company, has been with us for 16 years. And we simply, you know, we have a 90% client retention rate. Why? Because we take care of people every step of the way. So that's what the book is about. But it's not perfect. It's good. You know, as I said before, I got what I think is a rave review from a very, very senior person at one of the telecom companies who wants to actually collaborate with me and do some speaking engagements and all that.
But you took an action. Yes. You publish your book, and it's there. So at the end of the day, we think too much of, I want it perfect before I put it out there. But, you know, sometimes we just got to say, I'm going to put it out there. That's it. Finish. And,
and you know what? There may even be typos in the book. I don't know, because I'm not a good proofreader. I'm looking at the content.
It's got some typos.
Yeah, you read the book.
And I'm joking.
I'm sure
did read the book, but here's the thing. No.
Thanks for telling me now.
Typos, but you asked my opinion, right? And I gave it to you. And I remember the one thing I said to you. One thing I said to Lou was this: look, it's not my book. This is how I would do things. You asked my opinion, but here's the thing: it's done. Yeah. And go forward with it. Don't let what I just said stop it. And he shared with me, just as he just shared with you, he had already revised it 50 times and he was ready to move forward with it. And you know what? The next version or the next book, right, will be that much better because he already understands the process.
Yes.
It looks like Evan Evangelos
absolutely.
Is on. I don't know if you're frozen, if you just have a picture of the 10x rule. I would love for you to engage with us. Are you there with us, my friend?
That's just picture of me because my camera is somehow, I did like many cam updates, somehow just not working at the moment. When I go to myself, it just screen goes black.
Okay.
I'll try to connect with you guys. First of all, massive 10x or even 100x 2016 to you all. Great topic. I like to add something to what Lou was saying. I can understand some frustration coming from people because they don't take action or they're scared to take action, and they just need to flow with what millions of people saying and what's real out there is happening, and it becomes a reality anyhow. It's just like how we all end up believing religious, and this is just very similar principle. If you adopt it and take action on it as you wish, and you'll improve. Eventually you will improve. Whole community will help you to improve, because that's so powerful.
Absolutely. I'm just responding to some people. Lou, I don't know if you want to address that.
I'm sorry. It kind of broke up a bit. It might be on my end. It's the middle of the afternoon and the Comcast line gets clogged with kids.
That's his justification.
So I didn't quite hear the whole thing. Huh? Just telling you what's going on. I didn't hear everything he said.
You know, for myself, I'm just saying experience of myself. Since actually I pick up a 10x rule, to be honest, the amount of amazing things change. Yes. And just even proof of, since I picked up a 10x rule, I didn't have a tweeter. When you look now, I have a 700 tweeters about around 2-3 months.
Awesome. Awesome.
Great.
And that's amazing.
I mean, that to me just says that you made the choice. It's just a choice. You adopted a mindset of, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take action. I'm going to move along. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to, Mary Joy, I think you said it earlier. Take
Absolutely.
Massive action. Once you plant that stake in the ground, what's going to stop you?
That is only you stopping you. That's in my own experience, amount of failure that I had in my life till age of 51. I'm 51 now. And all that failure is giving you more power to actually put your fears and everything else behind you. Try to be like the boxer in the ring, that you're getting knocked down, you're still champion, you want to get up and fight. And financial way, it's just, you have to take some mentality and through my business experience, not just reading 10x, but before actually I pick up 10x, many different obstacles you face generally when you get into either real business or online business or any kind of sale business, and you have all the struggles. And 10x rules, it makes it like, instead of like driving rocky road, is put like massive highway in front of you, and you create that path and mindset, and that's what really provides amazing information.
Yeah, and I guess I'm probably the dumb guy here because I haven't read
don't
yet.
You can buy it. You can buy it. Yeah. Go on, Ryan.
Lou, all it states is to put massive action. He says if you want to make 25 calls, if you think it takes 25 calls to reach your goal, make 250 calls. If you want to make $100,000, he goes shoot for $1 million. And if you come up far, whatever action it takes to make that $1 million, then guess what? Then you're going to take that action. If you don't hit your $1 million, you're probably far going to surpass that 100,000 you were talking about. So whatever action that you think you need to take to attain 100 new clients, 10x that action. And I was just reading a testimonial on one of his books from somebody. He says, listen, I used to be worried about sending out 2,500 emails. He goes, I would send out 2,500 emails a month. He goes, and then I read the book and I said, oh man, I need to send out, 25,000. Right. And I had problems. He goes, and I thought to myself, what would Uncle G, that's Grant Cardone, people call him Uncle G, what would Uncle G say if I was having a problem? Because I was thinking maybe I'll send 15,000. And he goes, Uncle G would probably call me a little bitch. Excuse the terminology, but that's something that he would say. He goes, so I sent out 25,000 and it wasn't that hard. He goes, so I sent out 50,000 and my email server actually contacted me thinking it wasn't me and tried to shut me down. So I took the action to get it back up and running and sent out another 50,000 in 1 month. So he was normally sending out 2,500. He ended up sending out 100,000. He goes, my phone is ringing off the hook with people trying to send me business. It's never been this way because I was worried. About, what if too many people call? That's a problem you want to have. That's what a business is about. It's about growth, right? So if you hit the challenge of having too many clients because you took so much action, guess what? You get to hire a virtual assistant. You get to hire an assistant. You get to hire some employees to take care of some of those people. But that doesn't happen if you're not taking massive action. So, Evan, I don't know if you're still on or not, but I appreciate you jumping on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what the 10X rule talks about. And we're talking about time management here, and we're talking about what we do, and seeing we're talking about client care and businesses, right, guys? Just put your time and energy and efforts where it's going to be best utilized. For that particular gentleman in the example I just said, all he had to do was send out a whole bunch of emails, and he got a lot of business. Apparently, he had the email list. He just wasn't hitting the send button, right? So what?
Sounds like a limiting self-limiting belief.
But a lot of people have them, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
You could 10X your business this year.
No, do it.
I don't know. It depends on what your business, which one you're going to do, because I know you have multiple busineses.
I'm still trying to wind myself out of the original one. I keep getting pulled back in because the challenge, and this is not justification.
Name it what you want.
The reality
is a justification.
I am. Okay, fine. All right, everybody. I'm justifying right here, right now. In the SATCOM world, I am the knowledge base in the business. I know more than the other than all my staff combined. And so when they need that expertise, I'm the one I get dragged back into it because nobody else has that. It's mine. There's no doubt about it. It's mine. I haven't cracked open my head and shared everything I know. There's a lot of it you can't teach. You got to be around it.
Yeah.
You got to live it. You know that. Right? I mean, you don't learn to run a marathon by watching it on TV. I wouldn't know anything about running a marathon.
I still haven't done it.
You go out and you run. I know, you don't know a damn thing about it, ever. Why I chose that example, buddy. The reason Luke
chooses that example is because I've been 5 years in training for a marathon, and every single year there is a challenge that happens, whether it's an injury. So there's been 3 injuries and an illness, and just a year I took off. So, yeah. So there's been challenges, and every time they were out of my control, but I'm still working towards that. Right now, I'm coming off a broken ankle, and I ran for the first time. For the first time I ran, if you want to call it that, it didn't feel like that, over this past weekend. So I did a mile with my son while he rode his bike. Thank you. But I was able to get out there, and I've been putting in 5-mile walks. So, but I couldn't walk just a couple months ago. So this is progress. Slow steps, right? Kill the cow that don't give you I imagine that's kill the cow that don't gives milk. Feed to village ones you got them to feed. You all live. So kill the cow that doesn't give milk. Feed them to the village. Okay, so kill the cow that doesn't give the milk. Feed that one the meat to the village, and then everybody gets to live.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, this is great. I can't wait for the next one, Ryan. Which one would you guys want to hear and talk about next? We want to do another one next week?
Absolutely. So I'm going to go and I'm going to ask you guys on the right-hand side. I'm going to pick 3 randomly and figure out which chapter you guys would like us to cover and what's most important to you, because this isn't about me, it's about you guys and what's important to you. I just thought time management going into the new year would be good. So if you learn how to manage your time early on in the year by doing what I suggested earlier, which is write down everything you spend time on for the next 7 days, starting now, because New Year's is in there and you can make a choice. I'm not doing much of anything on New Year's Eve. My wife and I are staying in. We're probably going to order takeout or something because I got things to do. We have things to do, and that's a choice. Cover table of contents. So, criticism is a sign of success. Would anybody like to hear that one? I'll give you 3 choices.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what he talks about. So I'll go right there. If you guys think that would be a great topic, and I'll give you the Cliff Notes version because I read the book. Criticism, if people are criticizing you and that you're not, and I know Mary Joy experienced some of this with Perry Newbies, people were saying you should be doing it this way, you should be doing it that way, she was taking so much action that there were people out there challenging what she was doing while they were sitting on the sidelines. It's like the Monday morning quarterback. Oh, he should have thrown it to this guy. He should have thrown it to that guy. Well, you're not the guy in the hot seat taking all the action and going through the growth. So that's basically a Cliff Notes version of what it talks about is if you're taking enough action, you are going to get naysayers. You're going to get people criticizing you. You're going to get people telling you you should be doing it a different way. But at the end of the day, if they're not supporting you, if they're criticizing you, you should probably take that information with a grain of salt, throw it out the window, and continue doing what you're doing. Because if you're getting haters, you're probably doing something right. Because most people don't have haters. Yeah, because most people aren't getting any haters. Right. So I would love to cover chapter 18. And for those of you who are on, we'll be doing this again next week at the same time, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. London time. And that's where Mary Joy is, just so all of you know.
Yes, I am.
Mary Joy, you're in London? I love London. I have family over there.
We're doing a meetup for the Perry newbies around my birthday, so I don't know if you can make it over here in April. So, okay then.
I'll come over in April.
Yeah. Are you with the Perry newbies? Because then you can connect with us there more. Okay.
I believe I'm not. I'm gonna be.
Okay. PerryNewbies.com.
Yeah, I think I am. I just kind of do what Ryan says.
I don't know about that. In regards to Periscope, he has listened to me, and he realizes it is a valuable tool to help him grow, to help him speak, to help him share his message. Getting on here on Blabs, he sees the value in it. So I don't know that he does everything I say to do, but in regards to this, I think you just naturally see the value in what's happening.
I love it. And while you were talking, I just went and scheduled this for next week. So now it's in my time management thing, 3 o'clock next Wednesday. I know what I'm doing.
So are you in Periscope as well, yeah? I'm just looking your name up now. I'll add you.
Yes.
I got it. Yeah, I'll follow you.
Level
and,
Lou.
Can't wait to connect. Yes, this is great. Yeah.
So go ahead.
My handle for Periscope is the same as this Mary Jo MJC Nancy 14. So if you wanna follow me, you can follow me there. Yeah. Okay. Close it up. I'm Ryan, and I'll. Shall I take the recording off now, or you wanna close it first?
I'll close it, then we'll take the recording, and then we'll schedule for next week. So everybody, I just want to thank all of you for your time today. I want to especially thank Lou and Chuck and the other gentleman off the top, Evan, I believe it was, who jumped on the hot seat, right? This is a we show, not a me show. So without each and every single one of you jumping in the hot seat and sharing your knowledge, your experiences, and what it means to you, all the people commenting on the right-hand side, we appreciate your comments because, again, that feeds us and what the discussion and where it goes. So we are going to 10x the end of 2015. We are going to definitely 10x and above 2016. And today's topic was time management. My challenge to you, the action I would love to see you take, and you'll realize at the end of the week, the value of it is write down when you wake up, I just slept 8 hours. Get what you did with your coffee, your drive to work, your time in your drive to work, what television things you're watching, what business things you're doing, what time you're spending with your family. Track every single moment of the day for 7 days and see if you could find more useful areas that you can be putting your time in. And that's my challenge to you. So today's topic was Grant Cardone, the 10X rule. The chapter was chapter 17, time management myth. And from me to you, Mary Joy, Lou, thank you so much for getting on the show today. And we look forward to seeing you same time next week, 3 o'clock Eastern time and 8 o'clock London time. Thank you so much. Mary Joy, did you want to say anything closing? Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Yes, thank you everybody. And we have Scoopathon and the first starting 7 p.m. my time. So everybody's welcome to come and scoop for 5 minutes with us to just wish everybody a happy new year. So if you want to join us, there's an event at the Facebook group.
So the best way to get there, guys, I'm going to put it in the thing right now, is perrynewbies.com. That will get you into the Facebook group, and on the feed there, Mary Joy will have updates and things as to what's going on with the Scope-a-thon. I believe that is happening New Year's Day.
Yep.
And what time is it starting?
7 p.m. my time, and that would be 2 p.m. your time?
2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of you in the States. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Scope-a-thon. Again, you'll get on 5 minutes to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe, what your game plan is for 2016, right, going on. It's a great way to connect with like-minded people, early adopters, and a great community of 1,600 people growing strong, hopefully to 10,000 here in the near future. That's the goal. So please jump on the Perry Newbies train or Scope-a-thon, whichever way you want to describe it.
Okay.
And with that, have a great day, everybody.